It's just different.
Flow terrific, acting so prolific. Motivation bars, I keep my niggas lifted. I met some roadblocks, was focused on precision. We had to switch our train of thoughts to make it through conditions. Swimming with them sharks, they think it's dinner time. Either you stand up like a man or you the first in line. I saw my destiny arise, I visualized the times. But God ain't never made mistakes, so I just follow signs. See, they been doubting since legit, I'm like, it's no way. Baby coming through, I got that juice, I'm like, it's OJ. She wanna stay for weeks, I tell her, baby girl, it's no way. Niggas talk the flights, in reality it's Mayday. But I can taste that blood in my mouth again. Who the fuck they challenging? It's a shame I gotta show these niggas who the king again. Gifted with ability, so who the fuck they questioning? I was raised with niggas that'll spin you over hustling. We done be some silly odds, be careful how you play your cards. I know it's been a minute since you seen a nigga spit this hard. Grew up with some killers that'll pull it out the boulevard. I know it's the grace of God to shield me like a bodyguard. Damn, dangerous days in the city limits. You know they brought us niggas up that never show no feelings. The people feeling in their soul when your shit disappears. It's getting beneficial when you know your shit the illest. What's up?
I was a menace from an adolescent. Always kept a weapon and highly respected. But nowadays I'm surfing them like a tidal wave. Bitches often praise a nigga cause I got plenty cake. Don't be approaching me, nigga.
Real quick. Welcome to Logo Talk. I'm letting the room build up a little bit. We're at about 7:45 right now. I'm trying to let the room get to 1,000 or something like that before we get it going. Shouldn't take that long. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. We about to talk some Gator hoops. We about to talk some Will Harris. It's no longer smoke. I've been telling y'all for a little minute now that things could get spooky if Ron Roberts is back. Ron Roberts is back, and now things are a little spooky. But we're going to hang out. We're going to talk, man. This Logo Talk. Y'all pull up, hang out. Neil Blackmon is coming to talk some Gator hoops. I want to let the room build up a little bit. We already over 800. We'll be at 1,000 in a little minute here, and we'll get this thing rolling. I'm going to let some music play. The music that you're hearing is the tunes of my partner, business partner, homeboy, T-Roll down in Miami. Real dope vibes. Make sure y'all, find them on Spotify, YouTube, and all of that. This is Logo Talk, brought to you, powered by the great folks at Alma Mater, Gainesville, Florida. The best place to buy merch, apparel, anything Florida Gator, man. We hanging out. Check the music, check the vibes. Room get 1,000. We almost at 1,000 already. Oh, man, I got some music to play. Hold on.
Jay said they annihilate the greats. Just a little envision is what it takes. I've been ducking fakes. Prices climbing, they know I'm worth the rate. I'm pushing plates. No wonder my league is heavyweights. We gon' be on. Word is born. This ain't no sing-along. I'm coming strong. 97 is what I'm rolling on. I set the tone. If you tripping to get you drag along, I said it calm. So you niggas ain't gotta be alone. Permission gotta be granted. Oh, when this shit is given to each his own. But I ain't working for 'em for commission. See, you gon' always feel a difference when you stay persistent. Only a couple niggas in this really be consistent. I've been told I'm the one that could get it. They set the crown on my head and I think that is fitting. She said the sound of my voice give us spiritual healing. I'm elevating every time I might jump through the ceiling. I've been yelling. I'm losing my balance so I could get the leverage. It's been a minute since I had an alcoholic beverage. I figured out I'd be okay if they just get the message. Hoping that y'all get my vision, got me really stressing. Yeah, I'ma ride on the lift. And tell them niggas that deny you the moment is near. I see exactly through you niggas, I'm looking at shit. But all I shoulda, coulda, woulda, it sounded like fear, I'm out of ear. Yeah, see they drowning in pity. When I recognize my gift, I move city to city. They ask me how many I got and I say it's like 50. See, I've been working like a slave so these niggas can feel me, y'all don't hear me. Yeah, till the day that I'm gone. Till the day that I'm gone, I'ma be working like a slave till the day that I'm gone. You gotta cut them niggas off that be leading you wrong. Yeah, till the day that I'm gone. Till the day that I'm gone, I'ma be working like a slave till the day that I'm gone. You gotta cut them niggas off that be leading you wrong. Yeah, I promise my people a coup. The infrastructure that I'm building gon' cut off the roof. I'm peeping that these other niggas ain't living they truth. It ain't no secret what I do when I'm off in the booth. You see the proof. Yeah, I'ma say what I mean. They say the money and the fame always come in between. See, it's gon' be a special moment with God intervene. It's like the lows come along with chasing the dream. You know the scheme. Yeah.
Hey, y'all do me a favor, hit retweet. It don't cost nothing to show love, man. Hit retweet. This is Logo Talk Live. We finna hang out in a little minute, talk some Gator basketball, talk some Will Harris, spring football, coaching move, off-season vibes, everything. It's some good news. Like, everything ain't bad news, man. Some of this stuff is just revealing, right? Shout out to my man Will Harris. No hard feelings on, his decision to move on from the squad. We're gonna talk about it in a little bit, though. Y'all hit retweet. It don't cost nothing to show love. This is Logo Talk, brought to you by Alma Mater, Florida. Gainesville's very owned by Gainesville swimmer, Gator swimmer, Gainesville residents, support local. They got customized gear. They support all the NIL players, Jaden Ball gear there, DJ Lagway. You see the ticker down at the bottom. In the comments below, there's a link. Hit that link, save yourself 5% off. This is Logo Talk brought to you by Alma Mater. We're going to hang out, let the music ride a little bit. We well over 1,600 right now. I appreciate y'all for hanging out, man. We finna talk some Gator vibes. You heard?
Yeah, got the soul of a titan. I'm the newest superstar, perform like I'm Zion. Yeah, we gon' really see the flaws when pressure applying. They would've thought we had a ladder, how niggas is climbing, so we shining. Yeah, till the day that I'm gone. Till the day that I'm gone, I'ma be working like a slave till the day that I'm gone. You gotta cut them niggas off that be leading you wrong. Yeah. Till the day that I'm gone. Till the day that I'm gone, I'ma be working like a slave till the day that I'm gone. You got to cut them niggas off that be leading you wrong. Yeah. For real. They better know we coming. They better know it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm about to get this thing rolling. If you just pulled up, my homie T-Ro is on the sounds. Make sure y'all find him on Spotify, Instagram, YouTube, whatever it may be. My business partner, my dude, one of the best dudes rapping. I don't care if it's Florida, where it's at, man. Tap in. We about to get live. It's Logo Talk, powered by Alma Mater. We about to talk some Gator vibes, everything Gator basketball. I got Neil Blackmon from Saturday Down South pulling up to kick it with me, talk some hoops. And we got some Will Harris news to update the people on. We're going to talk about it. I've been talking about the Will Harris smoke since December, and it came into fruition. So we're going to talk about it. Last little track, man. We over $2,000. If y'all don't mind hitting retweet, it don't cost nothing to show love. Hitting the like button, it's a heart. It's a simple heart right there, and people refuse to hit the heart on social media, man. It don't cost a dime. They don't even show who like it. That's the amazing thing about it. And people still don't hit it, bro. Y'all just some haters by heart, man. I know how it is, man. But hit the like button, hit retweet, all of that, share. If you want to join the show, you can. In the comments of the tweet, there's a link to join the cast. Make sure y'all hit that if y'all got some questions, some takes that y'all want to bring to the table. But we hanging out a little bit. This is the Pipe Down Freestyle by my homie T-Ro. After this, we're gonna get it rolling, man.
They say I'm bringing the real back, and it feel like it. Since I came in the game, yeah, it's been nothing like it. I swear to tell the truth and never speak a lie. Cause in my hood, them niggas never make it out alive. I run with niggas, society label menace, but the loyalty they show me is something I call authentic. They told me expose the opposition, get them. They speak behind your back, so I don't even really hear them. Got the doubters considering I'm the one for it all. Knew I was fit for the struggle, well, since the moment it called. I keep it true with the people and hold it down for the cause. But I've been waiting for praise, but never got that applause. So I'ma make them pay attention for the sake of peace. And to all the weak rappers, may you rest in peace. They label me as an alien in my city streets. Cause I don't follow the crowd, I'm what my city needs. They wasn't seeing the logic on how the people could profit. Dropped another tape on them and now they saying I got it. I put my hand on the Bible and told the Lord I'ma trust him. Keep me away from that hating, cause we ain't running from nothing. I'm on a mission so the family live a better life. I say a prayer for my nigga doing triple life. Them tribulations I battle might keep me up tonight, but mama praying for a baby as I board this flight. Yeah, they say my last one was a classic. They know that, yeah. Man, my verse is full of passion. I'm in my own lane, don't see the traffic. I showed that, yeah. Boy, my shit been causing havoc. Convinced the man in the mirror that I could never be broken. I got the shine of a diamond, receive the blessings approaching. So when it come to that paper, I know the price of it all. But they playing it cool, oh yeah, they rather you fall. I call it out cause they be selling dreams. I pay attention to the story and the shit between. I'm so invasive, I hustle, get it by any means. So undeniable, gifted, addictive like a fiend. I came to tear these niggas up and I ain't holding back. She say my records give her hope and I'm in love with that. Cause all the riches and rollies is all they talk about. They say if I don't do the same, boy, it's a longer route. How could they ever doubt? What's up?
How could they ever doubt, man? We hanging out, 2,500 in here hanging out. It's Logo Talk. My man Neil Blackmon is going to pull up a little bit. We're going to talk some Gator hoops. Every Gator fan that's listening, if you buy Gator gear, you buy Gator merch apparel, and you also want to support the players in NIL, make sure you check out almamaterdesign.com. If you're locally in Gainesville, swing by there and check them out. Custom apparel. They could do custom designs for you. Also, if you want to save 5%, in the comments, there's a link. Hit it. Save yourself 5%. But DJ Lagway's gear is on there. Jaden Ball, other sports, baseball, softball, volleyball, they support the players and provide them a platform to sell their merch on. Make sure y'all tap in, man. Support the NIL and also support a Gator, local business, etc. Logo Talk Live, man. We hanging out. We hanging out. If you want to join the show, in the comments, there's a link. Just hit that link. Come in a little bit quiet. Hit mute on your mic when you come in, and we'll get it rolling. But we got to talk the big news on the table, which is Will Harris leaving to Miami. It's a lot, man. It's layered, right? I don't want to get too deep into, hearsay, because there's a lot of things that went down to get us to this point where Will Harris is leaving. One of the better coaches on our staff. There's no way to spin it. Will Harris is one of the top coaches on our staff, if not the top guy. And from what I know, Will Harris wanted to be a Gator. I know there's some fans out there already going full Gator mode and, F Will Harris and he's a traitor. First of all, these dudes don't be Floridians. He's not a Floridian. He has no ties or allegiance to either program. So to him, it's a lot of business there, right? So even if he did bolted in a sour way, it's business for a lot of these guys, man. It's coaching, it's a profession. This has happened in the Big Three before with Dugans, flip-flopping between Florida State and Miami. But it just came down to fits, culture fits, and staff fits. I've been saying this since December that if Ron Roberts was retained, I didn't foresee Will Harris staying on staff. And now here we are, mid-February, post-signing day. Will Harris is going to Miami. I thought it was a mistake bringing Ron Roberts back. I said this on several podcasts. I said it on Logo Talk before, that I thought it was a mistake bringing Ron Roberts back. Some fans want to talk about, how the defense improved, which I got, but football is bigger than that. Football is also bigger than one person. Will Harris is a very good defensive back coach that's respected, like big time respected. Anybody, I talked to other DB coaches as they started getting out late last night. I started getting some texts from some other guys that are DB coaches, and Will Harris is highly respected as a DB coach. It's going to be almost impossible for us to upgrade. I'm just going to call it plain. I don't foresee us upgrading from Will Harris. The secondary got a lot better. Not only do we lose Will Harris, we also lost Rasul last week, our assistant DB coach. That's two guys. When I first started getting on this take of Will Harris not being retained, I said there was going to be 2 or 3 coaches that will not come back if Ron Roberts was here. And 2 of them are gone. One of them still on staff, but 2 guys from the defensive side of the ball, one off the field, one on field, gone. And it's a lot to do with culture fits, and guys got to get along in the locker room for it to gel right. Everybody wants a comfortable work environment. They want to go to work and feel, chill. Your boss got to be somebody you like, man, especially when you got options. You feel me? So I don't think there was enough energy put around trying to retain Will Harris as well. Like once the offseason hit, I thought he should have been a priority. I think a contract should have been on the table to keep somebody, even a title, especially if it's somebody that the word's been out that he's a little disgruntled. I didn't see that type of effort. Him going to Texas would have been one thing. What's up, dude? Why you open the door? Close the door, bro. I'm recording, man. Now you got the dog on the couch. Like, what is going on? Y'all respect my job, fam. Like, what's going on, bro?
Mom told me to bring her in here.
Bro, go. Man, my family don't respect the logo talk, man. What's going on? Harlem, get her out of here, please. Thank you. It's right after signing day, so it's kind of tricky, right? You just signed a bunch of high school kids out of signing day that a lot of the competition came down to UF in Miami, and now your defensive back coach is heading down to Miami. If he was heading to Texas, that's one thing. There's the SEC transfer rule that would have disallowed our players from bolting and going to Texas with him. Miami, there's no such rule. I'm not saying our guys are going to bolt. From what I'm hearing, everybody's staying intact that's on campus as of right now. Haven't gotten any word with Onis, the defensive backflip from Tennessee. I don't know what he may do, but from what I'm hearing on campus, everybody's kind of sitting in, and vibing to see who the hire is going to be. I don't expect us to have any mass exits or anything like that, but that opportunity, that door is available since it's not SEC to SEC. It's an ACC team. Like I said, I'm going to keep saying this. I'm going to make this very known that Will Harris wanted to be a Gator. It wasn't any disrespect. Wasn't any trying to get us back. Clearly, he was looking for another opportunity with the Texas job, man. I've been saying it all along, so nobody should be shocked that this guy was going to find another opportunity if Ron Roberts was retained. Plain and simple. I don't know if the comments just not flowing in or what's going on, but I'm not really getting the comments on the flow of things. It is what it is. There's no way to spin it. As far as hires, who I think we may be going after, I don't foresee an upgrade. The name I think we go after is Deron Wilson, currently Georgia State's defensive coordinator, previously at Arkansas. Also was here as an analyst a couple years ago when Billy first go at it the first year. He was an analyst on that staff. Then he went over to Arkansas. Now he's at Georgia State. I think that's a guy that they go after. DVD is a name that I've heard as well. I don't know how aggressive they're gonna be there because, from what I've seen, Billy's gonna hire guys that he's familiar with, that he's worked with. So that's what I'm expecting as of now. Deron Wilson, Georgia State. Look for Florida to get an interview with him, possibly be our next defensive back coach. And in my opinion, if that's the move, that is a downgrade. We shall see how it all unfolds and how it all plays out. But that's the move right now. Neil Blackmon has just joined the show. We're gonna get back to some football, man. But for right now, we're gonna talk some Gator hoops, and we'll get back to the Will Harris. Matter of fact, Neil, what's up, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm good. How are you?
I'm blessed up. I'm blessed up. Considering, right? Considering
Yeah.
today's news, I was having a beautiful week, man. You know, been kind of speculating and waiting on either an extension with Will Harris
Yeah.
or possibly him going somewhere else. But I've been hinting at this for a couple of weeks now. There's either a contract or some breaking news that I'm just waiting to drop, and it's been around his decision and what was going to be done. But he's apparently choosing to move on to Miami. Big blow in my opinion. What are you thinking?
Yeah. I mean, we all saw it with our eyes. Like, it's not, don't overthink this. That's my message. Like, this is bad. Like,
Correct.
you saw the way that secondary played. You saw the kids that wanted to come here and play in the secondary. I mean, it's not good. There's a reason Mario wanted to go get him.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a reason why he came up in the Texas. Some people thought that was just fake smoke, but there was some interest from Texas on that side. And like I said earlier in this broadcast, like when you speak to other DB coaches, he's a highly coveted and highly
Right.
respected guy. Like other DB coaches saying, "Nah, he's that dude."
Yeah. No, it's not. Like I said, don't overthink it. Like, it's just not good.
Perception wise, there's a lot. Like this may be. How do you weigh this out? You think this is worse than Georgia taking ETN? Perception wise,
I don't think it's worse perception wise. I think it's worse football wise. Like, I don't know, man, and maybe that's premature and unfair to say because like we don't know what they're gonna do with that spot if they'll go spend money on a high, but we kind of know because they've told us who they are over and over again.
correct.
So, I mean, like the ETN thing made a lot of headlines because flashy playmaker had some big games, right? But the reality was that Montrell Johnson was coming back and that they felt good about that room even without ETN. And they could say that. And then, like I said, we could look at it with our eyes and be like, yeah, okay. But they're going to say, oh, well, we feel good about our secondary. And we're going to say, well, the only good secondary at this school this decade, Will Harris coached.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's no.
I wish I had more. Like it's.
Yeah.
It's just one of those. It's not complicated. Like, do not overthink it. It's bad. They shouldn't have allowed that to happen. If it was a money, Miami offered this. What will you offer? And they were like, not the same as Miami. Then that's bad. Every explanation is bad.
There's no way to spin it. I had another take that I was about to throw in it. I'm forgetting right now. It was at the top of my brain. I was about to throw into this, but yeah, it's just no way to spin it. Especially if we go get somebody less experienced on a recruiting trail. You talking about a guy that you're gonna have to battle that just left UF, right? Like, what are you telling the recruits if they, if they're poaching the best of your staff?
Yeah.
This is my take. So Will Harris, it came back to me. Will Harris is probably one of the better hires on the staff, and he's one of the guys that's not from Napier's circle, like his friendships, right? Like most of these people are relationship hires. Will Harris was a little out of the box and out of left field, and he was one of the more successful guys that's been working since this regime got here, and now you're losing him. So the name that I'm hearing for his Will Harris replacement is somebody in the circle. It's somebody from that relationship. He was at UF before. Deron Wilson, Georgia State's defensive coordinator. He was also Arkansas's DB coach. Right? He put decent numbers up with Arkansas. Like, he made vast improvements at Arkansas. Like, like if you're looking at it just from that standpoint, you know, he's a good DB coach on that type of standpoint. But when you look at experience and what we're losing and gaining, it's a downgrade. There's no way to spin it.
No, yeah. I mean, it again. I mean, you look at this staff and you try to point out where like the elite coaches are, right? And like for me, Gerald Chapman had a great year, but like you were looking at Harrison, the running back room, and then you talk to coaches and they like Rob Sale. They all say he can't recruit, but then they say offensive lines don't get better like that. So he obviously can coach a little bit when it comes to coaching kids up.
Right.
But like we're not calling Rob Sale elite because he can't recruit, right? So I mean, it's just painful. It's a painful thing, and because there's not, thank God for Will, you know, there's nothing bad that's forcing him to go to Miami. Like there's
Right.
no way to spin it, like you said.
No, it is a business. You got to
Right.
put a lot of value around guys. I know, like we in fan mode. A lot of fans is, oh, how could he go? Because Miami's a rivalry in their mind, but this is a business, and
Yeah.
work environment matters. You know how much you make matters. You know, I also thought bringing in a lot of young boys, like just to call it plain. This is logo talk, man, and so I just want to just talk some ball and like my perspective and opinions. Like you bringing in younger people and giving them titles, and people just saying it's just on paper, and these coaches don't really care about it just to get them paid. No, you're giving titles and roles to make more money, and you're bringing
Right.
guys in with seniority roles on title and paper. You gotta watch the room. You know, it's a
Yeah.
work environment. Like we all got egos to some sort, and we all got like a certain level of respect that we want, especially in professions like that. Like it's a little, I'm not gonna say disrespectful, I'm gonna say unrespectful to bring in unproven people to give them titles and pay above people that are on staff that are more proven. If I got that
Yeah.
out correctly.
Yeah. No, I think that's right. That's right. You
Let's
know,
talk some
and
Gator hoops, man. Let's talk something positive, man. Like
no,
let's
let's
talk
do
some
that.
Gator hoops. Ty Golden, we cooking up, bro. We are cooking up. It don't matter if we injured. It don't matter. We down a couple guys. We on the road. We
Yeah.
just looking like we peaking towards the tournament, man.
Yeah.
Big Mississippi State win. What do you thought about that win? With having two starters out, halftime. We come back out of halftime and just go on a run and just never look back. What you thinking about the run we on right now?
Man, they're just that team, they got championship resolve, right? Like you see a play like that, and your head coach thinks it's a dirty play. Some of the players, whether or not they think it's dirty or not, they know that a guy who's one of the three kind of unquestioned leaders in that locker room is gone. He's going to a hospital to get an X-ray.
Right.
You just beat Auburn, so every human nature kind of thing says you should have a letdown anyway,
Right.
right? And they just like they just bucked up, and like even in the first half. So I was getting all these texts that I get during basketball game. What's going on? Why aren't they winning? Why aren't they playing better? And I'm like, they're playing fine. You see all these open shots? Like they're just missing
Right.
shots.
Right.
Like it wasn't like Miss State was doing anything defensively that was causing them problems. Florida was doing what they wanted. They were getting middle of the paint touches, kicking out for threes and missing shots. It was good to see Zell after the game, and he was just like, yeah. They're like, what adjustments you make at halftime? And Denzel was like, our adjustment was like, coach just told us to make shots.
We live and die by that three, man. Like when the three ball's
Yeah.
on, bro, we smoke teams, and when it's not on, those have been our losses. When the three
Yeah.
ball, we haven't defended it well, and we didn't
Yeah.
shoot it well. Usually, we
That's
take a L.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because it is like, you can be an offense that lives and die by the three, but if you don't guard it, who cares?
Right.
Like Florida Florida's whole defensive scheme is to limit 3-point attempts and force you into the paint and make you shoot over their bigs. And it's a really great scheme that Florida has. And you think about two of their losses were two of the best shooters in the country, Caleb Grill, Colby Bree, Kentucky and Missouri, just went nuclear on them.
Crazy.
And and then obviously they had the Tennessee loss where Tennessee, same deal as what Florida just did to Miss State. Like, clearly Tennessee played mad and Florida played angry in that second half. They played for their fallen teammates. That wasn't as impressive as the Auburn win because I don't think people understand how good this Auburn team has been. I mean, they right now, mid-February, have the best resume that any team has ever had in the 68 field era, 68 team era. I mean, it's savage, man. But to get these 2 wins back to back, just unbelievable. And now, I don't want to say because the SEC is so good that like South Carolina, who's 0-10 in the league, is not a bad team. Like, they're not. So the question becomes, how long are they going to be without Condon? Probably 2 weeks. So
what's up with Elijah Martin?
Yeah, and that's a hip pointer, which if anybody ever had one, it's really painful. I don't know if it's more so in football, you can kind of get a shot and you got your pads, and as long as you can move, okay, you'll see guys that'll play through it. Percy Harvin played through a few of them when he was at Florida. But Elijah, he relies on his physicality. Like, he's undersized. He's only 6'2". So for him, like, he wants to put his hip in you. I don't know. Like, I think he'll play Saturday. Everybody I've talked to seems to think he's going to be back. But I think Florida could be without 2 starters Saturday against South Carolina. And the problem with that is, like, we all watched the first game. Like, as good as Florida is, and their Final Four good, there are like some teams that match up better with them than others.
Right.
And South Carolina's got a lottery pick down low, so no Condon. It's already, Alex struggled with that guy. So now you got to throw out Chinyelu, you got to throw out Houck, who's undersized against him, and then Sam Alexis rolled his ankle at Miss State. He was in a boot when he got off the plane the other night. So I don't know. They could be down 3 people. I don't think they will. I think it will be just Condon, and I think Sam is going to be okay to go, and then Elijah will be the one that's a question. But they got to get healthy. If they get healthy, they can make the Final Four. Like, you all could go to San Antonio, and we'll have a good time.
I don't know if I'll be able to get tickets to get in the game, but I'm down to go out there and vibe and show some support in some type of fashion. We make it to the Final Four. The older I get, man, like those we make a run like that in anything because, like, when I was younger, I didn't appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could rewind some of these Gator Final Four runs and national championships, bro. I probably appreciate it a little bit more. Like, as we struggling now and can't keep coaches, you know what I'm saying? So if we make a Final Four run, I'm going to San Antonio. I got to show my face and let the people smell my cologne a little bit.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. And that's part of the, like, I think part of the thing with probably compound some of the Will Harris, anger on like X or any of the social platforms is like it is that, right? Like, you got DJ Lagway, you're going to have him for 2 years.
Right.
So, like, you want that staff to be tight. You want that staff to be ready to go. This is a window that you got to take advantage of.
Yeah. Like, momentum and just like confidence, man. Like, now doubt's creeping into the locker room. And I think that's something we could have avoided this offseason as much as possible. We needed to stay away from the belief that's growing with these young boys, and you end the season, like, all the momentum just matters. To lose Will Harris to a DB room that was thriving young, is full of talent. Now, like, those guys lose the 2 DB coaches that they know. Like, you lose Rasul and you lose Will Harris. Now you get two new people to come in, and you like Vinny Sinceri and whoever the other guy is, because no hire has been made yet. But it's just two new fresh faces that these kids never been recruited by. They don't know. They don't have a relationship with. Like that's one of the things that get not just NIL, but relationships and vibes. It's also
Yeah.
what lands some of these kids, like being able to get along, loving coaching styles. Now they gotta guess and figure out on the fly if they like the new coach's coaching style and whatnot. So yeah, bro, we just need to stay away from any doubt creeping into a locker room where confidence is growing.
Yeah. No, I mean exactly. And I don't know if that had to do. I mean, you might know more than me. You know, you're doing news breaking now, which it's about time. Good for you. Um,
Yeah, I might as well do it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know it
we get
anyway.
and know it anyway, bro. So
That's
may as well
right.
show
Like,
people that it's not just trolls and jokes out here, bro. We also got some
yeah,
relationships and some sources and some ties, man. We ain't out here
exactly.
just
So why not? You know, you
yeah,
should be doing that. But yeah, I mean, a lot of those guys trust. They trust. They trust Ron Roberts. They trust Gerald Chapman. You know, and those things matter when you start producing. You start feeling good. You know, it's a little easier to believe in a plan that you're presented on a Sunday night, right? Um, and I think, yeah, I mean, I think it becomes a cloud over the program before the spring because you got a lot of guys, and you got new guys too, like guys that flipped that said, "Oh man, I like this guy." You know, I mean, I'm
right.
not worried. I'm not. I know that like a couple of those guys have signed their financial letters and stuff, but when one of them flips from Miami, a little worried about the fact that Will Harris might be headed down to Miami. You know, you want to keep your safety. So, and
Right, right.
that's just me talking. It's not based on
Yeah, no,
anything.
yeah.
But
Sometimes this is a parody show, Neil.
yeah, but this kind of stuff. Like I said, there are so many things to worry about when you are running a high level program, and the last thing you need is for disruption of staff continuity to create some sort of questions when this offseason should be all about confidence.
Here's my thing. I think the tier of hiring we're doing is just not on par with what the University of Florida is.
Yeah.
And this is misconception that Florida is just cheap right now and don't want to spend money on staff, and it's completely false. I don't know who came up with this narrative or who got this whole ideology out here that Florida is cheap. The staff is huge. Like we're paying, we're willing. It's these are the people that Napier wants to hire. Like they're not
Yeah.
budget shopping. These are the
Yeah.
people that he absolutely want on staff. The conversation that we all know was had with Muschamp, exemplifies that even more. That no, they willing to spend money on staff if that's the direction Billy wants to go. But that's just not what's happening. You just can't. It's like when LeVar Ball put his son in the LeVar Ball shoe. Like, try that shoe out on a G League guy. Like, your son is a top draft pick, one of those guys. He shouldn't be risking his knees with an up and coming shoe that you're trying out. Like, proven shoes should be
Yeah.
on top athletes' feet, right?
Right.
Proven coaches should be at the University of Florida, not up and comers. Like, all these coaches could turn out to be the greatest coaches in the world. Like Vinny Sinceri come from a coaching family. I'm pretty sure he's going to be a good defensive coach one day. The guys that Austin Armstrong that we let go, I'm pretty sure he's going to be a great coach one day. Who's the first guy that we had, the first defensive coordinator?
That's
I'm
right.
forgetting his name. But all of these guys are going to be good football coaches one day, but they weren't ready for the job at the time. And we just got to stop making those hires. You look around the country, like you get, and most times out of life, what you pay for and what you're after. You got to go after guys with proven resumes. You sprinkle in youth and inexperience here and there, but the majority of your staff can't be inexperienced. I said this on a previous logo talk. I think Georgia. I know Georgia has 48 seasons of experience on his sidelines. When
Wow.
Will Harris leave, we're under like 23, 24. It's just that amount of experience just You can see it on game day. You can see it on the sidelines. You can see it in the preparation. You can see it with getting 11 players on the field at all times. The small mistakes. It's just you can see that, and you cannot cut corners around experience in
Right.
any industry. It don't matter what it is.
No, I mean, that's the thing. So, like, my big thing on this staff, and this is what I've told some people, and I know, like, so Kirby Smart is the best recruiter on Georgia's staff, right? But and Nick Saban was probably the best recruiter on Alabama's staff. So it's not the rule isn't that your head coach can't be your best recruiter. That's fine, and that's where Florida is right now. The rule is that you still have to have at least one killer on your staff recruiting wise who can recruit any position. And like, so Florida spends money on staff, but they also spend a lot of time worrying about, personality fit and those sorts of things. And like, that's fine. But, you get a guy like Sider going to Notre Dame, right? Well, he's going there, and Marcus Freeman isn't worried about, like, am I going to get along with him? He's just worried about, like, I need to get 2 or 3 more 5 stars in my recruiting class because I'm on the precipice of knocking the door off this thing. And, like, where are those guys on Florida staff? And I'm not, like, we all know Tim Skipper is a good recruiter. Like, we know, like, that we know that they could go and find somebody and get them down here.
It's about Jaluk. You mean Bar Jaluk?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry, Jabbar Jaluk.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, where is the I was thinking about Skipper because of your yeah. Anyway, they need another killer, like, on the trail, man. Like, and I think that's so, like, now if Will Harris is going to be gone, like, just go find somebody that can go who can recruit any position. Who can you send into a living room and he says, "Hey, I coach defensive backs, but your son's a great tight end. Let me tell you all the things you need to know about why he's going to UF," right?
Facts. That's what Sider was. Yeah, you just need killers on the staff, and that's just they got to get more coaches on, like, with Florida relationships. Like, I don't even get along even off the field. Like, we had Hypolite, however you say his name, when he first came on. We've had Hova in the past. You got to have guys, especially now. You're losing one of your top recruiters on staff to a rival, a guy that went and won some battles. Like, our DB room got some guys that were 5-star kids. Like, he went and won some big boy battles, and now you got to go to war against a guy that you know is a killer. That got one of the best resumes.
Yep.
And as far as coaching DBs, developing DBs in college football, he's one of them guys, man. Let me add Dan to the show real quick, man. Just kick it a little bit. Daniel, what's up?
Can you see me?
We got you.
See you, fam. Yeah.
Oh, it just shows that I'm blank on my screen.
You got to upgrade that iPhone 3, my boy.
I'm telling you, extra POS over here.
What's up with it, man? Will Harris.
I've been listening since I was in the car for a while. Been listening for a long time, and it's always refreshing to hear Neil. He's got refined takes. They're well thought out. No fluff words. I mean, there's no reason he's not as successful as he is.
Yeah.
Talk to me, Dan. What's up with it, man? Will Harris is going on to the Stinky Birds down south.
What do you
Miami
think, Dan?
Chickens.
Well, I mean, we've talked about it, right? On Stadium and Gale, if you've not been listening for the last 2 months, 7 weeks at least, right? We've said, hey, I mean, I don't know how many of you guys are on LinkedIn, but there's a banner on LinkedIn if you're looking for a new job, and it says open to work. And just imagine Will Harris has said open to work, open to all opportunities. It's not a surprise, that there was a lot of differences in the coaching staff. There was a couple of people that looked to move on and maybe didn't have the same opportunities to do so, but it should be no surprise. It looks like a lateral move, but if you think about it and you put 2 and 2 together, it's not a lateral move if it's upgrading your life or positioning yourself with a coach that you agree with more, or maybe don't disagree with as often, right?
Yeah, it was a combination of a lot of things, man.
Yeah.
It's workspace vibes, who you work with, and we already expressed that Ron Roberts was who had also had a problem at Auburn. Like we didn't
Mm-hmm.
poach Ron Roberts from Auburn. Like they kind of told him to go find another job, and he just swapped his orange and blues for Auburn to UF. So we got him, and then more in-house problems come along with it, and then we'll see how it all plays out. Like they may go on and have a successful season, man. I'm
Right.
still gonna be hyped about Lagway's year. Are we making the offseason moves that I think we should make? Nah, but we'll see how it all plays out. But it came down to also, that extension. I've been talking
Mm-hmm.
about for two weeks plus that I was waiting on some more news to drop to either him leaving or extension to happen. But either way, something was gonna give. And I also said on the last Stadium and Gale that I thought keeping and retaining Will Harris should have been a priority from
Right.
day one before you're bringing new guys in, giving them co-titles and that the fans saying it don't matter. No, that stuff does matter in real life.
Right. I was
So it
talking.
came down to several things.
You know him, Corey, and Neil. I think you know my buddy Paul Salmons. Him and I were grabbing a drink and a bite to eat earlier. We were just talking about this exact same subject before we knew that Will Harris was officially going to go to Miami. I mean, I told him, I was like, "Hey, writing's on the wall. It should happen at any time." Both of us work in corporate America, and Neil, you understand this as well. Like Corey, I know you do too. Is like when you have a corporate structure and a corporate hierarchy, if somebody has a title that's higher than yours, even if they say that you guys are the same or they're just another voice or we're just giving them that title because we're trying to convince them to come over from this other role, or maybe they had that title before and we need to keep them. With that title comes a hierarchy. No matter if that person is 1 inch above you or 100 feet above you, there is a difference in hierarchy in the way that
Right.
looks. And the way that we treated, in my opinion, some of the staff that was on staff now or has now left staff compared to some of the titles we threw around, whether they were off staff before, they moved from analyst to tight end coach to co-offensive coordinator to offensive coordinator over the course of a few years, it's going to irk some people. And I think that definitely plays into, Will Harris leaving. And, I don't want to oversell or undersell. We'll see what happens. Corey, I know you and I were texting. I think we have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen. But it can't be put aside to say that this is a bad loss for Florida. Is it catastrophic? We don't know. But Will Harris did a magical turnaround this year in this cornerback group. And at the end of the season, he's dealing with cornerback 4, cornerback 5, cornerback 6, and they're
Still
performing.
cooking.
It's a really tough loss.
Yeah, there's no way to spin it. Like it's just not a win. And there's no reason to be, angry at Will Harris. You just
No,
gotta look at like even with retaining guys, I thought instead of like titles being given to Vinny Sincere, I don't want to harp on this too long, but I thought Rasul was a very valuable guy. I tweeted that when he put out that he was going to the Raiders. Like we losing a very valuable guy. I would feel even more comfortable if Will Harris left and we kept at least Rasul, I would feel differently. I feel more confident about the DB room and at least having Vinny Sincere and a guy that these players already got a relationship with and they work with all the time. But you're getting two fresh guys after having one of the most successful seasons you had in a very long time with a secondary. Now you got two new fresh faces that aren't very experienced. The hire hasn't been made, so I'm saying two. There's one right now, but what
right.
I'm hearing right now is just they got to get aggressive. And one thing, like I'm just gonna keep it a bean. Mario may fail, right? And he may underachieve every single year, but he's aggressive with hiring.
Right.
Like he's gonna go try to find guys that have a proven track record. He's not giving up and coming like, hey, come try this out. We'll see if you'll work. No, it's guys that have succeeded at Division I, Power 4, SEC, ACC, Big 12, NFL, those type of hires. And we're just not aggressive like that. Like from offensive coordinator to defensive coordinator to anything, we're settling. We react. We never the aggressor. We never proactive. We react to whatever. Like now, we got to react to what Will Harris is going to do.
Yeah.
I didn't know that even Jaluk interviewed for the FIU job. Like, imagine if he was poached by FAU and he took that job, then where are we at? Like, he's one of the few names, and you keep hearing his name come up in some NFL talk as well. So how long do you keep Jaluk? And that's why I was so aggressive with, like, everybody's, oh no, don't, we got a good running back coach. Why would we bring Sider in? Like, you bring talent in. Like, Sider's a guy I know that will coach
Yeah.
other positions. It's all about pay. He's a running back coach. His next step really is head coach or play caller. That's what he wants to be at. You feel me? So you bring those guys in, and there's no limits to how you giving out titles and money. Pay talent to be around, like you see in Texas do, like you see in Georgia do. Everybody else is paying talented coaches to be around big salaries. You just can't, and that way you're proactive. When Will Harris left, you had Rasul right there for a reason. Like, you made
Yeah.
some good hires in the defense room. You had it
Missed
set
out
up.
by a week.
Right. And Sider, I mean, like, the only reason he's going to Notre Dame, like I said, it's not because he's like buddies with Marcus Freeman. I mean, yeah, I'm sure that they're going to love each other. How could you not like that guy? But, you know, like, his kids were to where he felt like he could make one more move and kind of go somewhere where he'd either be there a long time and become a staple, or
Right.
he'd get a shot to be an OC or a coach.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that's the only reason that Sider left Penn State. Not because he wasn't happy, not because he didn't like
He wanted to
working for
grow.
James. Right. Like, it was just
he
like,
was ready to grow.
yeah, this is my chance to do it. My kids are he finished high school, whatever. Let's do it. Let's go now. And
Even with Sider, like, oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought you was ending your statement. Go
it's
ahead.
just, I mean, your point is right. Like, you have to get aggressive with this stuff. And, you know, the fear of failure is not a good thing. Like, you know, you cannot be afraid that something won't work.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm trying to remember the phrase. Perfection is the enemy of good, right? And really trying to say, hey, we need to try to get every hire perfect, or this is the staff that we're going to roll with. And in reality, you don't have a limit on coaches anymore, right? There is an opportunity where Florida has an abundance compared to a lot of schools of money. Florida has an opportunity. They have a brand, they have a logo, they have a conference to be able to go and attract the best talent in the country. And could it work with Billy Napier? I hope so. I hope that what this staff is, what this team is, can work. But I think if you were to tell any Florida fan after winning your last 4 games, having the longest winning streak in the SEC, that your recruiting class would be better than most people thought, but still in the top, third of the SEC, you would go and get 5 or 6 guys in the transfer portal, none of which really stick out. You're going to lose a number of coaches along the way. You're going to lose a couple of really important support staffers. And now you look at the roster, you look at the coaching staff, and you're just like, I don't know if this gives me a lot of hope, an abundance of hope, or is this just the same cyclical thing over and over again, where it's like you have an opportunity to capitalize on your momentum and you just missed out again.
Yeah. We'll see.
Right.
We shall see. Everybody thought the staff was kind of set, and we've been just waiting on some type of move in some capacity. I still don't think we're done. I still think there's some possible things that could happen. I didn't think Chapman would stay, but that buyout, him getting that extension, was the thing that kept him from going to the NFL, which was like just great business on that part. And I give flowers when flowers are due. Like, you got Chapman extension, and then the next week the Bears want him. Like, that you threw up a hurdle for the Bears that the Bears can't jump over. Great job. But nah, man. Or one of the other things, that's what I was gonna say. One of the other things with Sider is, like, he was OC, and some people are like, why would he leave co-OC to go to Notre Dame
Right.
to be a running back coach? It was one of those titles that are on paper, but they got a new offensive coordinator that came over from Kansas. So things changed. The offense changed. You know, that guy from Kansas is going to have his own relationships and people on his team. So he just viewed it a little different, man. And he's highly coveted. So if you got a program like Notre Dame that's reaching out, and a lot of that conversation is being had about opportunities to be able to eventually call plays, and then also having a platform that's just it's a bigger platform than Penn State for sure. I think his next move, his name came up in the FIU stuff as well. Clearly, they was out the running back coaches. They got Willie Simmons, interviewed Jaluk, Sider name came up, but eventually he'll get a head
Well,
coaching job.
And by the way, like speaking of being aggressive, like so Freeman lost Deland McCullough to Las Vegas, one of the probably top 5 running backs coaches in the country. And it's Sider walking in the room now. Like,
come on,
2 weeks later.
Not bad.
Must be nice. Right.
Touchdown Jesus.
And we're going to have to spend another G5 coordinator of some sort. I'm going to have a good time. Like, just all I do is report the news, man. I don't take it personal. Hey, man, I just report what's going on.
That's right.
And then I give my perspective on, just the facts, like resume, substance. I'm going to lie when I'm talking to Miami fans. And they're making it hard for me to lie to Miami. Like, I can't even really lie. I got to chill and be humble and relax. Because even though I got lagway, they poaching my coaches. Like, what is going on?
I will say this, Corey, sorry to interrupt. If you rewind a year ago, Gerald Chapman and Will Harris were not names that Gator fans were lighting fireworks about.
They weren't. I liked it.
Right. Yeah. No. I know you did, but the tenor of the room was, you got Gerald Chapman from Tulane, and then you got the assistant DB coach from the Chargers. Like, is that the best you can do? So there's still an opening. There's still multiple openings on this coaching staff. So there's still time. Like, you should temper your expectations that, like, yes, Will Harris did work out, and yes, there may be a small slide back, but there also could be an improvement. You just don't know. So before everybody freaks out about it, which I know is already happening
it's
on
too late.
3 right now, sometimes it's like let's rewind a year and remember what the conversations were then too.
Yeah.
Corey Raymond's leaving. We're replacing him with the assistant DB coach of the Chargers. And the only reason he had a job is because he got fired because John Harbaugh came over, right? So I think we also have to temper some things as well. But it does stink to lose him, especially in February.
It just stinks not to have continuity in that room.
Yeah.
Like, more than anything. Like, continuity. The reason we were keeping Ron Roberts was because of continuity. And then keeping him still cost us a very valuable guy. It is what it is at this point. I want to see who they go after. We had some smoke about DeRon Wilson, Georgia State's defensive coordinator right now. Previously, the defensive back coach at Arkansas. Before that, he was an analyst right here at UF.
Yep.
So there's a relationship there. On paper, the Arkansas defensive backs and secondary improved vastly. They went from dead last in the SEC to 4th in the SEC. Considerable defensive scheme changes. And then he got the defensive coordinator job at Georgia State just a month ago. And now there's some interest from Florida. I'm hearing there's some smoke there that may be a guy they go after. So on paper, it's okay. He got some experience here and there. But to me, it's just not one of those, like he was saying, those Sider type guys, man. Like, you're going to get, even Tashard Choice, who's leaving Texas now, the guys, the names that could walk into a living room and get anybody in any position. I'm a running back coach, or I'm a DB coach, but I can land a receiver for you. I can land a quarterback if I got to, because I can connect with kids, and I'm just that guy. I'm an alpha. So we'll see.
Yep.
We'll see. What else I got football-wise? See what I guess I got on here. I be forgetting stuff, man. I think that's it, man.
I was going to say, I don't think my...
How long do you guys think this type... Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I don't think my article was breaking any news. Like, if people listen to Stadium and Gale, they would tune into Logo Talk. They knew that Florida's passing game concept sucked.
Yeah.
And bring Neil on to replace Nick. You know what I mean?
What I do like though, it's funny. What's funny is I was telling Nick at baseball day the other day, media day. Nick and his boy Sully in their element, and must be nice to cover a program that's always awesome. You
Yeah.
know, yeah. But I was I was telling Nick, I said, no one's going to draw their own conclusions from this article because no one's going to read the paragraphs where people are like, yeah, Florida's run game scheme is really good, and their offensive line got way better, and they disguise things really well and certain concepts. And nobody cares about that. All they saw was an SEC defensive coordinator was like, yeah, our safety knew what play was coming on second and third down, in their 11 person, and nobody cares. After that, it was like, so it's one of those articles when I was putting it together, I'm like, oh man, this is going to crush some souls. But I'm just reporting the news, like you said.
Yeah, schematically, it's just that's advantage Miami with them getting Will Harris. Like you just a guy from your
Yeah, no
defensive
doubt.
room. They know how you prepare. Both sides of the ball. They know your regime. The ins and outs of it, and that's a team that you got to play. And Miami coordinators had jokes about how predictable our offense was and a lot of tendencies that we had. Now you're
Right.
just giving them another weapon. How long do y'all think it takes them to make this hire? Like we don't move fast. Do we get a DB coach before spring football?
Yeah.
Okay. You sure?
Yeah.
Win
I
spring
think,
football.
I think you can make
Yeah,
a decision
I
like
think-
this pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think they will.
I think you have to, right? I mean, you have what, a month before?
Yes. 5 weeks.
Yeah. So you have, if you can't get it done in 5 weeks, then just blow it all up.
Probably waiting for the Canadian season to end. We always waiting for a season to end. We always
Wait for
waiting on something to end.
the UFL or whatever it's called now.
They got their eyes on the Hamilton Grays DB.
Yeah. Or the Birmingham Stampede or whatever they're called. Yeah.
He was a monster as a defensive analyst in the Pac-12.
He's coached 10 Canadian Hall of Famers.
Last coach Lucius Purifoy in 2017.
Oh dear God!
Man, my phone blowing up.
I did
man.
not
Shout
wake
out my
up
guy.
today. I didn't wake up today thinking I was going to hear Lucius Purifoy. So thank you for that, Dan.
You're welcome. Hey, I give him credit. He stepped right into the 15 after Tebow.
They did.
Man, Lou went on a run for a little minute there. He was like the honey badger diet. Honey badger.
No one will ever take that LSU game away from him in 2012.
I know there was him and who was the other
Roberson.
dude?
Him and Matt Elam.
Roberson. Yeah,
had that game
Roberson.
forever.
They were both slotted for like first round draft picks. That mock draft the year before, I'm like, oh, we're good. DBU continues.
Matt Elam
It was a DBU,
running down Odell Beckham. Of course.
Classic. Did tell him to go to sleep.
That's it. All right, guys.
All right, Neil, hold it down, man. Hang around for a little minute, Dan. I appreciate you, Neil. Thanks for telling people they can find you at before you get out of here, man.
Yeah, just you can get me on Twitter at NW Blackmon. Check out Florida Basketball Hour. You might have heard, but the Florida basketball team is good.
Yeah, buddy.
Come listen to our podcast.
All right, the whitest black man you know right there, Neil Blackmon.
Right. Take it easy, guys.
All right, hold it down, my guy. Dan, what do we have here, my guy? What's up with it, man?
Man.
We've been trying to tell the people. We call a lot of static, man. I just want to I'm not even happy about this, not bragging about it, but we call a lot of static and like we was trying to ruffle feathers, but we just try to inform people on what exactly going on behind the scenes without spilling too much out because we have sources and we have people in relationships you got to keep intact. But there was some real smoke about Ron Roberts, and thank God Jared Chapman is still in the fold, but I thought Jared Chapman and Will Harris and Rasul were three guys that wouldn't stick around if Ron Roberts were retained. And I think all three of those guys are very valuable.
Right.
So here we are.
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember over the last couple of weeks, a lot of people were criticizing, and we're not trying to just be this breaking news source. We're not trying to be reporters. We're trying to let you know what we hear, and we all have different sources, and we try to report what we hear so that none of this is a surprise. And I don't think Will Harris leaving should be any surprise to anybody. I don't think Gerald Chapman interviewing should be any surprise. I don't think Coach Rasul leaving should be any surprise. And we tried to allude to that. And this isn't an I told you so moment. We're trying to give you the tenor of the program of what we see behind the typical journalistic walls that there's sometimes confinement behind. I feel like we've done a really good job of trying to say what we're saying without putting anybody in a precarious situation. But it's a tough loss. I don't want to say it's earth shattering, but this is not great for Florida in February of 2025. You're going into year 4. You've lost. Let's see. You have 5 coaches on the defensive side. You've probably lost 6 or 7 of them over the last couple of years, and
Yeah.
I don't know how many are upgrades to what you had before. And I don't know if this next one is going to be an upgrade either. So it's disappointing because you look at momentum, you look at opportunity, and Florida just can't seem to keep things intact. And they chose to make their bed with the decision that they made, and there's going to be externalities or consequences because of that. And this is one of them.
It's insane, my brother. Like this is to me. What do you think? I asked Neil Blackmon this earlier. What's perception wise? Do you think this is worse than ETN going to Georgia?
I think from a production standpoint, yeah. Um, I don't know what effect it will have in terms of coaching just yet, right? We can make that decision here shortly. But I do think going to a rival in what looks to be a very lateral position change does not look good at all. And I think that Will Harris was able to recruit really well. He was probably your best recruiter on staff. He was a coach that was very relatable, that a lot of people really liked working under. And he went to a rival, to a program that is not doing all that much better than Florida, that doesn't have the same funding that Florida has, or the same money that Florida should have, or what they're willing to spend. And not locking him up or making the decision that you did is, I don't know if it's going to haunt Florida, but it's definitely a black cloud over now another open position that you're filling after everybody else has signed extensions, gotten new jobs. So what are the options that you have on the table? You have 5 weeks before the season starts, not 9 weeks.
Yeah, what stinks is I wanted to say I am going to save some information for Stadium and Gale on Monday.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, so I'm not going to get into a lot of the details that went down with Will Harris' decision. But, speaking directly to him, he did tell me that he wanted to be at Florida, but he had to end up somewhere where he's wanted and valued. You could put whatever spin on it and break that down how you want, but this isn't the guy that bolted and snake bit the University of Florida. We alluded to the unhappiness and the way things could have been done, I think, a little bit differently. It didn't go down. And now we got to see what that replacement, who it is, That's just where we at right now.
Yeah.
The lateral move, there's just no way to spin it. Like, this is a terrible look. And we may go on to make the playoffs, and none of this may matter. We just call it as it is right now. Here's the thing too with content creating, man. Like, if you there's been times where we got information about the University of Florida, and we just sit on it. We chill. If it's bad news, whatever it may be, and we chill on it, and we'll wait for it to break, and then we usually report on it. We've taken a different approach in 2025 with let's be a little bit more aggressive with breaking this stuff and getting our opinions out. Like, dislike, whatever, but it's not sunshine pumping. But if we don't put the information out there, it's sunshine pumping, right? And when we do put it out there, it's us trying to conjure up bad news and just making up things. Nah, like, these are real things that's happening. We informed the people back in December when we were saying that we needed a new DC, and a lot of people didn't think we needed one. We may not need one. Who knows? One guy don't make the circus or make the show, make the team. Will Harris may not be a big loss, but it's all to be determined. On paper, for me, I'm just not feeling it. I don't like it. I don't like the upgrades that I'm hearing that's on the way. I
Mm-hmm.
don't like Vinny Sinceri coaching my safeties like that. Could he be a great coach one day? But right now, I'm just not feeling it, bro. And I can't really spin and lie about things that I don't see success on the way. That, bro, look at the names that are
Yeah.
being called, Dan. Dog,
Mm-hmm.
like some of these coaches they're poaching each other. They're going to the
Yeah.
NFL. Like, bro, there's big hires that's going down in
Yeah.
college football. And they're trying to sell me Vinny Sinceri like I'm not at, like, bro, this is the University of Florida. Somebody tell Billy he could go spend real money. This is not Louisiana, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is not Louisiana.
No, again, I mean,
We're not bargain shopping, man. We
yeah.
got Maybach money and we on the Honda Accord lot.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
come on, bro.
No, I mean, 100%, man. I just sent you a funny text that kind of goes onto what we were just talking about by somebody that would obviously know about this situation. You just lost a coach that didn't want to leave because he felt like he had to leave. What kind of environment are we setting up? What is that indicative of future success? Right? Is he going to be the only coach? He's not the only coach this cycle that's left because they didn't feel like they were wanted or be a part of the program. Is this going to be a trend now that continues?
I mean, even the Bateman exit. Like a lot of that, the Bateman, he wasn't feeling the way guys were brought in with Austin Roberts being younger than him, getting certain titles and positions as a guy that's been around the league for a while. He thought he deserved that. Ended up going to Texas A&M. Texas A&M defense turned out to be booty cheeks, but nonetheless, those are the vibes you're bringing into the locker room when you bring in unproven guys and giving them titles. Man, it's just too much of a buddy system. Like, the best hire that was made was Will Harris, and it was outside of his network. Mm-hmm. He's one of the guys that didn't come from that tree of all these people. And now we're gonna end up going back to the tree of some sort. But I'm not feeling the bargain shopping. I'm not feeling the hiring friends. I understand that's how this industry works a lot of time, and that's cool if you're Will Muschamp, you got friends in high places, right? Or if you Kirby Smart and you got friends in high places. But if your friends are G5 coaches, I'm personally not going to feel it. Now, it may turn out to be home run hires, but
you know what, Corey?
I can't spin it.
Remember 3 years and 2 months ago, when we had the group chat, we were going around about what we were hearing about what the potential coaching staff was going to be. And then it was like 2 of the 11 names that they mentioned that were going to be on the staff. And we were like hyping it up. We're like, oh man, if they put this staff together, there was like Carl Scott, there was a bunch of others. I'm like,
yeah,
this is a coach that's got it all put together. And then you don't get them. And then you end up with some bargain shopping. I think somebody said, buying a 12-year-old used car at a 12% interest rate. And then you have constant turnover of that staff. It just really makes me question, right? Like, we were told, and I'm not trying to be a hater. I know there's some people on YouTube that be like, you guys are haters. It's like, no, we're just trying to talk real. It's just sometimes it's not what you want to hear. You've lost 6 or 7 coaches over the last 3 years on the defensive side of the ball. You've had other coaching changes. You've had other people leave. And is that the best option that you had available, or is that the most comfortable option that you have available? And sometimes hiring isn't about comfort. Comfort should be the opposite of what you're looking for. You should be looking for somebody to challenge you, somebody that's going to add to the room. And if you feel like you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room, right? And so that's how I feel.
That's the rule.
That we are right now. Is like, well, just trust us because it's worked out with some of these others. It's like, well, they're leaving now, and I don't know what your options are, and you're running out of patience of your fan base. Of now, it starts to become apathy more than anything.
Facts. Yeah, you go from like even heading into the off season. This has been our thing. Like the momentum. You're on a win streak, and we see the promise. We see the future in the quarterback. Everybody is just saying we need an offensive coordinator. Like, most people didn't have the information about what was going on and, the unhappiness in the defensive side of the ball in that room until we kind of started alluding to it. But everybody just wanted a new OC and a play caller. And that fire got put out fairly quick. As for, no offensive coordinator's not coming. After a couple people alluded to us getting one, we're not getting it. And then you start losing. You start seeing people aggressive, like other teams aggressive, specifically on the defensive side of the ball, like the Chapman, the Will Harris teams was aggressive trying to get our defensive side of the ball, not the offense. We know that defensive side is talented, but it's just none of the offseason has played out. We weren't aggressive in the transfer portal. I didn't think we needed a whole lot of bodies, but there are some guys that I thought we should have went after, like Florida State did with Keon Coleman. Like Miami went after Cam Ward. That's just a bona fide superstar that we should have been aggressive to try to bring in here into this team. I just didn't see that type of aggression in the transfer portal. I haven't seen that type of aggression with staff hiring. It just seems meh.
But
I'm just not feeling it.
Corry, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Paul and I were having this conversation earlier. It's like, if there's somebody that makes your room better, you have to go chase that person. You have to go get better, right? If you work for a company and there's an opportunity to improve in software development or sales or marketing or whoever, and there's somebody on the market to make you better, you go get that person, and then you figure out what some of those ramifications are. And there might be some people that leave the organization, but if you are now a better organization, that's what you should be constantly chasing. That's what your Ohio States do. That's what Texas does. Texas has out-recruited Florida the last 4 years. And what did they do in the transfer portal? They went and got better talent, right? Ohio State did the same thing. Oregon's doing the same thing. Georgia's doing the same thing. That's what you have to do. You can't be like, oh, well, we recruited these guys and they've been here for 3 years and they've really put their heart and soul into it. Maybe 10 years ago, that's what you did, but football's different now. College football is different, and you have to go. If there's somebody on the market, you at least have to go kick the tires, and you have to look at opportunities to get better. And I just think we missed that opportunity. And we've talked about it on the show. Neil alluded to it right when I came back to watching, was you have a 2-year window of DJ Lagway. And that might be the best quarterback, unless you go get my boy Logan Flaherty out of Port Charlotte in a few years. That might be the best quarterback you have in the next decade. You have to capitalize. What is Florida doing to capitalize on that 2 years?
Yeah, and we're not even talking from a numbers, like a quantity standpoint. Like I'm still standing on, like you shouldn't have to get more than 7 to 8 guys year after year. But those 7 to 8 guys, like you're saying, you're going to get guys to improve rooms, like to fine tune rooms, going to get bona fide killers, not projects, and just depth pieces to fill in the depth chart, And I didn't see any aggressiveness towards bona fide killers in the transfer portal. The number amount, I'm cool with that, but the quality of just top-notch players wasn't something we was aggressive about, and I think that's something we should. Like, DJ Lagway is a phenomenal player, but you cannot put everything on his shoulders for him to carry, this staff to an extension, this team to the playoff by himself. It's a team sport. It's the ultimate team sport, and you got to have the best players around a kid like this. We seen, like I'm gonna keep saying, we seen Miami do it with Cam Ward. We seen Florida State do it with Jordan Travis. They both came up short, but they showed the aggressiveness. Like, let's try to bring in players to make a run while we got this talent, because it may be a drop off. There is going to be a drop off after DJ Lagway. No ifs, ands, and buts about it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's a potential generational quarterback, right? He's a 5-star. He's the first 5-star Florida's gotten a quarterback since, I guess, who finishes a 5-star last? John Brantley, Cam Newton, that time frame. Jeff Driscoll maybe was a 5-star.
One or two sites had Driscoll as a 5-star.
Yeah, but that's your first consensus 5-star maybe since John Brantley, right? And obviously we've seen a lot more out of DJ Lagway than John Brantley. But you have 2 years to capitalize. Where's the opportunity to get better, right? You think you have a good offensive line. Is there somebody else that can make us a little bit better? You think you've got a good DB room. Is there somebody else that can make you a little bit better? You hope for improvement out of your Jordan Castells and everybody else that's in the secondary group. Is there an opportunity to get better? The wide receiver room, I think they're still missing somebody. Do they have some good young guys in that room? Yeah, but you've talked about it on the show as well. Like, we still have to see them mature, and we have to see them step up into that role. And is there that development there? But I think if you were to tell everybody 3 months ago that the best wide receiver that you were going to get was a guy that's leaving UCLA that you've never heard of. I'm not saying that J. Mike can't be a great wide receiver, but were people knocking at the door to play with DJ Lagway and we just didn't answer it? Or were we not aggressive enough to say, hey, here's an opportunity to play for a guy that can throw 60, 50, 60 yards in the air, and we're going to run a lot of seam routes and out routes and go routes for you to be able to go get those? I don't know. And you just look at it and you're just like, this is not what Florida fans envisioned on December 21st after the Gasparilla Bowl on February 13th being at now.
Fact to Tony. This was not, man. I said we had Billy Bob Bucks on the trail. And we was going to get aggressive. I expected us to get aggressive, just using common sense, man. That's just not what has happened. And I still like the talent on our roster. We're one of the more talented teams in the country. But the players got to elevate the coaches' play around here a lot. And I think that's put more pressure on the players than per se the staff. I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. Let's get up out of here, man. We're at an hour 22. Make sure y'all tune in to Stadium and Gale on Monday night, every Monday night at 7:30, sometimes 8, depending on if my son got track. But every Monday night, tap in with us. Me, Jordan Scarlett, my guy Dan Thompson, and also Nick Delatorre.
The GOAT, Nick Delatorre.
Delatorre.
Yeah, Delatorre.
Torre.
Yeah, it's a little Italian, you know?
Oh, okay.
You know,
tomato.
You got to put the little, yeah.
I got you.
I appreciate you having me on, Corey. Appreciate it.
No, thanks for pulling up, man.
Absolutely.
If not, I would have been talking to myself after Neil got off of here, man. So I appreciate you, man. I'm going to wrap this up.
Peace. See ya.
Already. Thanks for everybody for pulling up and hanging out with me. We're going to run these back every single Thursday night, 8:30, permanent time, man. Shout out to the great folks at Alma Mater, Florida, in Gainesville. Click the link in the comment section. I'm also going to put the link in my bio. They have NIL merchandise and apparel with DJ Lagway, Jaden Ball, baseball players, basketball players. Support your NIL athletes. Support local business in Gainesville. Alma Mater. They got custom designs that you won't find on other websites like Fanatics or any other place else. Gainesville's very own, a former swimmer for UF. Support the squad. Hey, man, thanks for hanging out. Will Harris is out. Basketball team is thriving. Spring football is on the horizon. I'm going to get my lies off spring football, man. I was crunk about the defense. Defense taking a big blow. I'll see who the defensive back coach is and then make my judgment call from there. But the talent is not a problem in Gainesville. We definitely got to retain them. Not hearing any smoke about defensive backs hitting the portal as of right now. Don't have any information on Onis. That'll be the one I keep my eye on because he did make a late decision. I know a big part of his decision was Will Harris. He flipped over from Tennessee. He's not on campus. So there could be some, getting out of a national letter of intent or something like that probably on his end. But haven't heard anything concrete. This is just me spitballing a little bit here. But I'm excited about the football team. Talent is not the issue. The over and under right now for Florida is 6.5. I don't think that's a talent thing. I think that's some schedule, of course. But the teams on our schedule don't have more talent than us. So it's not just the schedule. It's also the people in charge. I don't know how highly they believe of our coaching staff coaching this team to the playoffs. I think we have a playoff caliber roster. Last year we won 8 games. We definitely left 2, maybe 3 games on the field that we just out-coached in. We win those 2 or 3 games. You do the math. That's likely a playoff team. We beat playoff teams down the stretch. We knocked some teams out of the playoffs down the stretch, teams that were hoping to be in the playoffs that made NIL, transfer portal, big moves to build rosters. We knocked those teams out of the playoffs because we're a talented football team. So talent is not an issue. It wasn't an issue last year, and we only won 8. We'll see what happens in 2025. It's Logo Talk. It's the vibes. I appreciate y'all for hanging out. Make sure y'all support Alma Mater, man. They power in Logo Talk. First sponsorship on this little live stream. I'll repost it and put it on YouTube for those that missed it. Appreciate y'all, man. It's love. Over 7,500 in here hanging out live. I don't take it for granted, man. Appreciate it. I know a lot of Miami fans showed up to see my demise. Bunch of haters. Y'all just showed up to see me unhappy. It's a special place in hell for people like y'all.